Hi traders, welcome to the currency strength and weakness trading ideas for the week of 19th to the 23rd of August 2024. My name is John, I'm senior market analyst here at Blueberry Markets. Let's go through some currency strength meter analysis then. So currency strength meter is analyzing the trends on individual currencies and then gives us a scoring system that allows us to identify a strong currency against a weak currency, enabling us to try and identify bigger trends within the markets. Now, the pound was the best performing, or was one of the best performing currencies last week alongside the Australian dollar. So looking for potential buys on those, and then we're looking at potential short ideas on the US dollar, New Zealand dollar, and potentially the euro going into this trading week. The ones that are highlighted in yellow are reversals. That means that they've come into a area on the currency strength meter where we typically see reversals in either strength or weakness. A good example of that recently was the Great British Pound was orange, and last week it was at that -5 scenario, and then we saw it gain strength and it's come off those areas. The US dollar, one of the weakest currencies at the moment. I'm expecting this to continue until maybe towards the end of the week, where we see central bank speeches from the Federal Reserve Chairman, Jerome Powell. So looking at the FX heat map, then what's really highlighted to me, like I said, euro dollar, pound US dollar, Aussie US dollar are interesting markets to me at the moment. Less so the euro, but we will have a little look at the pound US dollar pricing, and we will have a look at the likes of dollar yen and dollar CAD. Obviously, we've already been short dollar CAD for a while now. We do have some really important inflation data coming up in Canada this week, so that could shape how the FX heat map plays out. But essentially, looking across the board, we can see there's potential for Aussie Kiwi to be bullish as well, which I'm interested in. Euro Aussie, I like the idea of being a bear here. Australia had some really good employment figures recently, and we do have RBA meeting minutes coming up. That could be either a turning point for the Australian dollar, because I'm not expecting the RBA to cut interest rates, and if they don't and they hold interest rates higher, that could be a significant impact for the Australian dollar, and we could actually see a little bit of strength there. To kind of flip that though, we do have some China data coming out this week, and we need to see some positivity out of China for Australia to kind of see some strength in the currency. So let's take a look at some currency pairs of interest then. So cable, we rebounded really nicely from the 127 handle last week. This pretty much moved down from the 127 sort of 50s up to the 129.60s was all of last week. Very aggressive move to the upside, breaking into new highs, and we've broken into some key areas of support and resistance. So I quite like this first area up at 129. This was actually a volume profile zone of support. So if price was to come back into these type of levels here and find support, maybe something like this, like a little reversal pattern on lower time frames, that would be interesting to look for some ideas up into this resistance zone. This is a weekly resistance zone of 1.3, where we previously saw a reversal in the market, which we highlighted via the commitment to trader reports. But that looks to be a good area to go and target for cable long ideas. Going on to US dollar Japanese yen then. So this is a weekly chart. This is a 4-hour chart. And what I'm looking at is this weekly trend going to continue this week? It's something to consider. Dollar, like I said, very weak at the moment. Japan getting stronger in terms of hiking interest rates and moving into a bit more of a tightening cycle, whereas the US trying to come out of their tightening cycle, going into more of an easing cycle. And we closed back within last week's previous range highs, and we've already broken last week's lows. So to me, this price action is indicative of a potential continuation to the downside, and I quite like this zone up towards 147.50. I think if price made its way up to there, that could be a good area to spot as an area of resistance. I like the idea of price maybe coming back down towards the 142.50s or 142 handle. Now finally, I'm going to talk about Aussie Kiwi. Like I said, I think if we see some positivity out of the RBA minutes, then there could be a nice idea to see the Australian dollar continue to gain strength. Kiwi looking a little bit weaker. Why? While the RBNZ cut interest rates recently, talked about further downside as well. Although I feel like Kiwi's a little bit neutral, I still favour a little bit more downside in that according to the currency strength meter. We've had a nice change in trend here as well. So we had this nice little bullish pattern form last week. We closed above it, and now we're forming a potential another one to look out for. So I think if we get another rejection here, breakout, close above these highs, that could lead to a move up back into the swing highs around about that 1.1150. So let me know your thoughts down below. Like the video if you are new, and please subscribe. I'll speak to you soon.